A very good morning to everyone. I am Raghvendra Singh from Civil Engineering 4th year 7th semester Faculty of Engineering and Technology, University of Lucknow. I am going to present my seminar presentation on the topic of marine pollution, and the presentation was guided under the engineer Jiten Singh sir. Now here we see the table of content. Introduction, marine pollution, pollutant sources and their effects, prevention and control of marine pollution, case study, conclusion and references. Move to the next slide. Introduction. Oceans cover about 70% of the Earth's surface. They play an important role in the chemical and biological balance of the life on the Earth. They are vital to our food security, commerce, and transportation. But human activity has troubled the health of ocean. The habitat of marine mammals and fish have been degraded severely, with pollution responsible for the mass death of fish, mammals, and corals. Marine pollution. It is defined as the discharge of waste substance into the sea, resulting in harm to living resources, hazardous to human health, hindrance to fishery, and impairment of quality for use of seawater. Move to the next slide. Pollutants, sources and their effects. Pollutants can be simply defined as the material which cause pollution. The following are the important pollutants that cause the marine pollution: sewage, pesticides, plastic waste, metallic waste, oils, sediment plumes by deep sea mining, heat, radioactive waste. Sewage. Sewage may be entering the sea by direct drainage from inland towns and industries, tipping at sea from ships. Detrimental effects of sewage include eutrophication, deoxygenation, fuel deposit, reduced salinity, infection, and toxic residues. Pesticides. Pesticides are originally active chemically which are used for killing the pest. Pesticide may enter the ocean from the atmosphere after aerial spraying, from overland runoff of sprayed areas, from intentional dumping in the sea. Pesticide affects food chain directly. These are more and more concentrated in fish, seagulls, seals, penguins, and marine planktons. PCBs have been found have a serious effect on the aquatic animal reproductive cycle and known to cause patches on the skin, immunotoxicity, kidney damage, weight loss, and tumor formation in others. Move to the next slide. Plastic waste. The mass of plastic in the ocean may be as high as 100 million tons. Mammals that live on or in the sea consume flotsam by mistake, as it often looks similar to their natural prey. Plastic debris, when bulky or tangled, is difficult to pass, and many become permanently lodged in the digestive tracts of these animals, blocking in the passage of foods and causing death through starvation or infection. Fishing nets entangle fishes, dolphins, sea turtles, sharks, crocodiles, seabirds, carps, and other creatures, restricting movement, causing starvation and infection, and in those that need return to the metallic waste. Metallic chemical elements have relatively high density and toxicity or poisonous at low concentration. Examples are mercury, lead, nickel, arsenic, cadmium, and so on. Metallic waste can enter the marine environment naturally through weathering of the earth's crust, from rivers, or by direct discharge through the atmosphere also. These can enter the sea through oil spill also. The use of anti-fogging paint on the bottom of boats has been implicated as a major source of heavy metals in water. These toxic metals can accumulate in the tissue of many species of aquatic life. Now move to the next slide. Oil. Oil may enter in the city by a number of ways as follows: cargo tanker washing at sea, international discharge of oily waste from tank washing, and accidental spillages pollute the seawater severely. Import oil losses, collision in ports, tanker accidents, and maritime accidents due to collision, fire, explosion, or grounding also result in oil release in water. Oil leakage from pipelines, oily waste from oil fields or refineries near the coast. Now here we can see that a Mediterranean oil spill and oil. This is an satellite image. Oil. The overall detrimental effect of oil pollution seawater as follows: reduction in dissolved oxygen, reduction in light penetration, oil spilling cases lethal toxicity to aquatic flora. Something coats of oil have killed lichens and algae along the shorelines. Sea Others will die when their fur becomes saturated with oil by losing insulation. Hydrocarbon in oil get incorporated in body tissues of marine animals. When the concentration of crude oil in the seawater reaches 0.02 ppm, fish eggs begin to hatch irregularly or late, while the development of already hatched young fish or larval calves and lobster become abnormal at oil concentration become 1 and 100 ppm. Here we can see the figure of oil dead component lying on the shores of Jinnah Island 1 year after the oil spills. Sediment Plumes by deep sea mining. Because of deep sea mining, the removed part of the sea floor disturbs the habitat of benthic organisms. Plumes are caused when the tailings from mining, usually fine particles, are dumped back into the ocean and creating a cloud of particles floating in the water. There are two types of plumes: near bottom plumes, surface plumes. Now move to the next slide. Heat. Accumulation of unstable heat from human activities can disrupt ecosystem in the marine environment. The most important source of thermal marine pollution are the nuclear power plant and thermal power plants. These power plants use the seawater for cooling. The water is generally returned to the sea at temperature 100 to 220 degrees Celsius, which is higher than it was initially. One nuclear power plant may use as 1 billion gallons of seawater per day. Radioactive waste. Radioactive materials enter the ocean mainly for falling waste from natural background source, from fallout of nuclear weapons testing, from operation of nuclear reactors through intentional and unintentional direct releases, mining and processing of ores to produce radioisotopes, emission from the industrial use of nuclear energy, leakage from underground nuclear detonation. When men consume these radionuclide fishes, it was cancerized, leukemia, eye cataract, DNA breakage, and carcinoma in humans. Degrade spoils. Degrade spoils continue the greatest pollution input by the volume to the ocean. Spoils made degrading or mining of offshore mineral are deposited within a few miles of shore, where the potential impact is the greatest. Often they also sewage or industrial waste and solids from street runoff. Consistently, they often contain objectionable amounts of hazardous chemicals. The damage which can caused by degrading it's twofold: that occurring at the degrading site and that occurring at the degraded spoils disposal area. Prevention and control of marine pollution. Stabilization of the ecosystem, reutilization, recycling and remuneration and recharge of the waste. Removal of the pollutants. To control the oil spill, following method are used: skimming by spreading a high density power over the oil patch, it can be sunk to the bottom. Biodegradation, burning, use a suitable absorbing material. Prevention and control of marine pollution. Removal of phosphorus by electrolysis. Adopting appropriate method to remove heavy metals from the marine water. Radioactive waste can be removed or reduced by the ion exchange techniques. Precipitation of radionuclides. Creating awareness on marine pollution. Management by government. Incentive must be offered for conservation. Industrial units should be equipped with pollution control instruments. Now we can see the case study was done on marine pollution. Here is case study 1: Gulf War oil spill. The world's largest oil spill was not an accident, it was the result of a war. During the Gulf War in 1991, as the Iraqi forces withdrew from Kuwait, they opened pipelines and the valve of oil wells and set the fire as measure to block the force of United States from landing in the area. The fire started from the opening of the first well in January 1991, had lasted till the capping of the last well in the month of April that last year. As a result, 20 to 40 million gallons of oil are believed to have discharged into the Persian Gulf, killing hundreds of fishes and marine mammals. Now case study 2 in Bangladesh. Surface water unsafe to drink, large amount mortality from waterborne disease. 35 to 77 million people, up to half population, drink water contaminated with arsenic and concentration greater than 50 microgram per liter. WHO standard says 10 microgram per liter. Arsenic causes skin cancer, bladder, kidney, lung cancers and takes 7 to 10 years to appear. Impact of oil spills on human and environment. Almost all the mistakes we make harm the environment as the species on the planet in one way or another. When the incidents like wildfire and bombing end up destroying the environment in a minute of time on land, it is events such as oil spill that put our seas and ocean into trouble in a short period of time. Oil spill disasters have been one of the major concerns of the marine world for a long time now. They are commercial and environmental catastrophes. As a result of accident involving ships or oil rigs, the water become contaminated by liquid petroleum hydrocarbon, causing damage to the environment for decades. So, in a short, an oil spill completely disturb an entire ecosystem for quite long period of time. Conclusion: ocean covers the surface about 71% and plays an important role in the chemical and biological balance of the life on the earth. These are rich with marine resources like mineral oils and marine life, and sea food supplies meet a substantial food requirement of the world population. If the marine life affected by the pollution and if they carry pollutants in its biomass, the human population may get impact while consuming such resource. Hence, it is necessary to avoid the marine pollution and to protect marine from pollutants. So necessary to prevent and control for this pollution. Let's save our ocean and use the huge marine ecosystem. Now references, and thank you.